Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 7. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word, that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilences. And all these things we see conspiring here in Babylon the Great, aka America, especially the evil, which translates into bad times or disaster. And that's how the American economy is looking right now, as the government is cutting food stamps, Section 8, now Social Security, and Medicare will shut down in programs. And this is from Snyder Reports.
Well, I hate to say it, but President Trump has just warned millions of Americans that Social Security and Medicare are going to be gone. Now, what does it mean by this? Who's this going to impact? And does that mean Social Security recipients and Medicare recipients are going to be impacted in the very near future? Well, we're going to talk about that in today's video. I'm explaining what's going on and why this warning was put out there. But before I do, if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. And now let's begin. Look at this. It says Social Security and Medicare are going to be gone, Donald Trump warns. Now, what does he mean? Well, let's read it. It says right here, Donald Trump warned Tuesday that if Democrats don't approve funding to the future of Social Security and Medicare. Trump said at a press conference that when he asked Democrats for feedback on the funding bill, one said it means death. Well, he says there's nothing about death. There is death because they're going to lose Medicaid.
It means death, and that's highly spiritual. And let's get it. In Second Esdras, in the Apocrypha. As a matter of fact, we're already here. Chapter 15 and verse 5. And it reads, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, which is those evils, the disaster or bad times, the sword, which is an instrument used for war, famine, which is a part of what? Death, when you can't eat anymore. Death, once again, and destruction. Why are you doing these things, Lord? For wickedness had exceedingly polluted the whole earth. So that's the reason why. The source to the problem. And their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Going to lose Social Security. They're going to lose Medicare. All those things are going to be gone because the whole country would be bankrupt and you're not going to have any kind of medical insurance. Now, that response was because President Trump says Democrats are the reason why the government is currently shut down. Now, we can argue whether it's Democrats, it's Republicans, it's both, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, what matters is that right now, there is a big hit on our entire economy. Okay? Hundreds of thousands of federal workers have been furloughed. Okay? Thousands have been laid off. The economic hit because of this government shutdown is massive. We are losing billions of dollars a day.
We're losing billions of dollars a day. And America's already what? 37 trillion in debt. And there's no more jobs. And this is the reason why the Lord told King Solomon this. Let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Chapter 12 and verse 1. Remember now thy Creator, in the days of thy youth. And who created us? The Heavenly Father did. And why does he want you to remember him in your youth? That's when you're able-bodied to serve him with all your heart, body, mind, and soul. That's what he wants. You to give him your all. While the evil days come not, what the prophets prophesied of evil, disaster, bad times. And they're no longer coming. They're here. Nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Because when you're in your elderly age and you're on what? Social Security and Medicare, and they cut it, especially those that get medicine, high blood pressure medicine, need oxygen. Just imagine when you can't get no more oxygen. What happens? Death. You die. And that's pretty much what's happening to the American economy. And that's why the Lord said, what? Remember now, thy creator in the days of thy youth. Don't wait till you're old and decrepit to serve the Lord, to cry out to the Lord, when everything is not pleasurable anymore. When thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. These times that we're living in, which is very dark and evil times, it's not going to be very pleasurable when it's like the purge out there in the streets, because they have cut food stamps, Section 8, poverty, homelessness out there. People are robbing each other, killing each other, just like on the movie The Purge, which was predictively programming the citizens to get geared up and ready for that unpleasurable time. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. A very dark and gloomy day is what we're headed towards. And that's also how you are when you're in your elderly age. You're getting closer towards what? Your deathbed. Verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, which is the broadcasters of the stock market, the economists, that's how you say it, if I'm not mistaken, the economists who watch pretty much the markets, the stock market, the Wall Street, the bankers, they're trembling. They're getting prepared for what? Doomsday. Preparing their doomsday bunkers. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease. What is the grinders? Why do you wake up early a.m. and go and clock in on your 9-to-5 job? To get on your grind to make ends meet. But it says, and the grinders cease, disappear, because they are few. AI, artificial intelligence, Amazon, they're replacing thousands, hundreds of thousands of workers with robots. And those that look out of the windows, the working class citizens that go to get on their grind early a.m., be darkened. They don't see no hope. They don't see no future in America anymore. And that's pretty much what he's describing right here.
Federal workers have been furloughed. Okay, thousands have been laid off. The economic hit because of this government shutdown is massive. We are losing billions of dollars a day just from our GDP. Now, here's the issue. President Trump says if the United States goes bankrupt, then we lose everything. And we would. You'd have no Social Security benefits. You'd have no health care. There'd be nothing. Food assistance, gone. Everything, gone. So this is extremely important. This is now, I believe, the second largest government shutdown we have seen. Okay, we're currently, 22 days into this government shutdown. In the next 12 days, we are going to tie the longest shutdown in history, which was back between 2018 and extended into 2019.
Come on.
But here's the thing. Right now, there's a lot of discussions of how we can open the federal government. Look at this. It says U.S. Republicans and Democrats float new tactics amid government shutdown. And they're floating new ideas. The problem is these ideas are not getting anywhere. Okay? Here's the issue. Let me just explain this, how this is going to work out. Let's say the federal government stays shut down for another 12 days, which, according to reports, it would likely be shut down, okay, today's the 22nd, until the 31st. That is, 9 days away, okay? The reason they're saying this is because they don't believe that the President Trump or the Republican Party are going to accept the fact that many military personnel will not be paid. Because Speaker Mike Johnson has already said that if we do not see the government open up by November 1st, military personnel will not be paid because they do not have the money. We also learned that SNAP benefits will not be paid out come November 1st. Okay, that's millions of people. Okay, tens of millions of people are going to be without any food assistance. And if that happens,
going back to what Esther said, without food assistance. So what does that mean? You're going to be what? Famished. Going back to the plagues that the Heavenly Father said that he would bring upon the world. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. In verse 5, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine. That's what happens when you get no more food aid. You're famished, without food, death. And that's what it's going to bring as people began to become cutthroat. They get into survival mode, start looting, start stealing, and then they start killing and destruction. That's what the Lord is doing to this system here in America, destroying it. For wickedness had exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled once again.
Again, that's a huge problem. But how do we fix it? Well, that's what people don't know. But here's what I can tell you. Okay? In regards to Social Security and Medicare, they say if revenue drops because of an economic slowdown, again, this is what's happening right now. We are in the middle of an economic slowdown. It says, or obligations rise, okay? Policymakers must face pressure or may face pressure to either raise tax revenue or reduce benefits or reduce cost of growth, which means a slower cost of living adjustment. Again, we know in the next 2 days, on the 24th, we are going to learn what is the Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2026. Everyone's expecting 2.7 to 2.8%. But in future years, we may see this come down even lower, where you don't get that kind of a benefit. It gets reduced because the federal government cannot keep up with this. They also say a prolonged shutdown could hamper confidence, delay necessary data, interfere with planning, and possibly lead to catch-up pressures. For instance, okay, the cost of living adjustment announcement. This has already been delayed. Okay. Now, here's the problem. We are currently shut down, which means there are so many different agencies that are not working. Only the essential workers are at their jobs. The problem is there are so many people that are relying on these agencies to give them information to so that they can go and report it to another agency so they can get benefits and do this and do that and actually have a life. Well, they may not be able to do any of that stuff. All these different agencies that are shut down, this is going to hurt millions of people. But I want to get back to this, okay?
Once again, it's going to hurt millions of people. Going back to what King Solomon was saying about remembering your Creator before these evil days come. Ecclesiastes any day now. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 in verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets. What does that sound like? America's being closed down. The Lord is closing up shop here in this place. When the sound of the grinding is low, the jobs, they're pretty much micromanaging, downsizing.
Why does what President Trump just said, why does it matter? Okay? Look at this. It says Donald Trump issues warning to Social Security and Medicare. What we know. Trump warned at a press conference that if an agreement is not reached with the Democrats, programs like Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare will be in danger. There are currently no changes to Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid as the government shutdown, which has reached it.
Going into what? The doors shall be shut in the streets. The government shutdown, which has reached pretty much history. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 4. When the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, early a.m., to go and fill out job application or get on Indeed, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Even the musicians, the stars, they're starting to go broke. Also, when they shall be afraid of all that which is high, or of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail. So people are starting to pretty much give up. People was so advocate to get the illegal immigrants out of America, but these jobs are empty, these construction jobs. Why? When you Americans was voting to get the illegals out of America. Now that they're not showing up to work, America is collapsing, showing you how America was being fueled. The Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the ones who they're rounding up. And now look at America. It's on a decline, showing you, you red-blooded Americans, you Edomites are not about shit, man. Because if you were, you would be on these goddamn jobs instead of on the internet complaining, bitching, crying about how broke you are. Well, go and get these damn low-paying jobs that the illegal immigrants was doing. So when desire shall fail because man go into his long home, you see, the illegals, they're hiding out. All the other ones who came over here from other nations, they're leaving America because they see it collapsing. They're going to their long home. And the mourners, you Americans, you Edomites that's complaining, go about the streets. You're going about mourning, crying, bitching because you're losing your jobs. And the jobs that are out there that the illegals was working, you don't want to do it for the pay that they want to give you. Well, that's what you've been crying for, mourning about. There you go. And the mourners go about the streets, or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. So the Lord is collapsing America full spectrum, all the way around. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, that plague, which is death. Because that's what we're made of, dust, earth. You're going to see a whole lot of death and destruction. And the spirit shall return unto God who gave, and not going under the earth and burning forever. No, all spirits, whether you're righteous or wicked, go back to the Heavenly Father. And then you come back in your third and fourth generation or further, however the Heavenly Fathers see it fit for you to come back on the earth. And then that judgment plays out. You get a new body. So we're going to leave it right there. Call hello Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Kwam Yashala, which means rise Israel in its own, to the next one. And I'm going to let this video clip play the rest out.
It's third week.